Perhaps I should remind you of some of the things you said about these two people 4 years ago, and I'd like to get your reaction to what to some of those issues you've raised. Take a listen to what you said 4 years ago.
Godwin, he come from a large family in Benin Kingdom. He went to school. He finished his secondary school. He went to University of Ibadan. He finished. There were no issues. Fly colors. He went to US. He did his masters. He came back home. He started helping people to set up businesses. The other guy, Mr. AJ Yamu, he has a very interesting lifestyle. He went to school. He finished his primary school. I haven't seen the testimonial, but he finished. He then went to University of Benin to read law. 2 years later, he was rusticated. For 2 years, they drive him from school. Why? He carried acid and pour on the body of another student. Today, that student is deformed for life. His manhood has been destroyed. Today, he cannot raise a family. That is his credentials. And that is why he could not go to law school. That is why, although he read law, he is not a barrister.
All right, and that's what you said, Your Excellency, 4 years ago. Let me use the words of the governor of Rivers State to begin the conversation. He said, quote him now, "If Adams Oshiomhole tells you that a particular politician is a bad product that cannot be sold, you can take that to the bank and keep your money, or better still invest it in a better product that will give you more value for your money." Is that the situation, Your Excellency? We seem to be having some issues with the audio connection with the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole. I hope that he can hear me now, and we can hear him clearly. If you can react to the question that I asked earlier, Comrade Oshiomhole. Hello? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, the question is that some of the things that you've said, the question is what has changed 4 years ago and now? All right, let's see if we can, let me go back to Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, whom I understand now that can hear us, and we can hear him clearly now. So, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, if you can react to some of the things you said then, and what has changed now, and whether or not what the people of Edo State should believe in what you tell them.
So, are you done with the question?
Yes, sir.
Well, the first question you asked, you quoted what I said about the university education, primary, secondary, and the rest of it. Are you hearing me?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. But it is now an open secret that as of that time, that those were, I mean, all he told me, and I had no reason to doubt him. But a few months after we had elected him, PDP went to court, and it was through PDP court action that we discovered that contrary to Governor Bassett's claim, he actually had forged certificates. He made 3 credits, and you cannot proceed to University of Ibadan with 3 credits. And of course, he swore to affidavit that he finished secondary school in 2000. He finished for University of Ibadan in 1976, and then he attached a photocopy which shows 1979. And PDP went to court to say that Governor Bassett forged his certificate. He could not have possibly been admission with 3 credits only. That is religious knowledge, history, and geography. Now, at the time I was talking about this going to University of Ibadan, I believe him. But from the court document filed by PDP against me, I now know that he lied to me. And that is the reason that the screening committee, which was made up of professors and Senior Advocate of Nigeria that we constituted to screen the candidate, found that given his credentials, which he has further compounded this year by attaching fake originals, that it is impossible for his candidature to stand in the face of the law. And so he was disqualified. Now, you also made mention of what I said about EDO ELECTION not being a lawyer. That is what I was told. Now I know for a fact, because thereafter, people who were his schoolmates in the law school have come out to say that he was a classmate at Nigeria Law School. And of course, I have had the opportunity to look at, you have a list of people who went through the law school, so it is not my word against another person. And I now find that all of those things they told me were of course not true. So Pastor EDO ELECTION finished from law school. And don't forget that these statements were not made on affidavit. They were based on what I was told. Just like he himself told me that he went to the University of Ibadan, he had all the credits, he did XYZ, and I have no reason to doubt him. But the issue today is that we now have evidence of the contrary. And that is why right now, just like PDP sued him in 2016, but he escaped because PDP filed the action out of time, and the issues involved were settled back because they were pre-election issues. This time we have filed early enough. But I think the real question you have put to my dear friend and brother Danobi, you helped him by just showing a little of what he has said. He has said more damaging things about Obaseki, even after 100 days in office, where he showed Wike's achievements and compared them to Obaseki's achievements. Now, the facts are there that Obaseki deviated from his commitment to Edo people, which is to continue all of those things that have put Edo back, that people were describing Edo as a construction site. And when he talks about what he's doing, in our campaign, we told Edo people, don't believe what you have not seen. While I was governor, we set up Azura Power Plant, which has still been commissioned, a $1 billion project. I didn't have to do MOU in China or in Washington or elsewhere. It was done here. And I know I got the current president and the vice president to dot the remaining lines that the previous government did do to enable the project to kick off. And that project has been completed. I hope that Danobi is not crediting Azura Power Plant. That is something, check the certificate of occupancy for that land. I paid for it. Sorry, I signed it. I paid, the government paid part of the compensation for land and other facilities we provided, which give the district government a share. So we are shareholders in Azura Power Plant. And where they manufacture ceramic tiles in Edo today, which we use for most of the schools we built by Chinese companies, we didn't do any MOU, and they are producing. We are not here about commissioning. They are already producing. And we have a company that was also set up. All we needed to do was to create the enabling environment, and they are producing iron rods from scraps. So
if I may quickly, So let me come in and ask you. You heard what the governor said today about the fact that your party is planning violence. How true is that?
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. So for me, the issue in this election is you'll be tested for 4 years. In those 4 years, you cannot point at the new primary schools you have built in a state that believes so much in education. In these 4 years, you can't lay claim to having built a new secondary school. On the contrary, you close down the College of Education, which I had upgraded to University of Education. And you close down the College of Agriculture at a time when we need to produce artisans to be able to do support farmers and help them to understand modern ways of farming. And you close down the School of Nursing at a time when we need to produce more nursing. The hospital we built, I paid 75% before I left. There are no bills on record, and you should also search your system. This is YouTube, you will find it, where he claimed, and correctly, that Governor Basiki budgeted twice in 2017 and in 2018 budget. He made provisions to pay for the balance of the central hospital. And we know now that 1 kobo he has not paid. All that was paid to Bamed was all that was paid while I was governor. Not only that, he shut down the hospital. Danobi has been one of those political warriors who insisted that the hospital be open. I had to do a documentary to compel Obaseki to open the hospital. And even as we speak, contrary to the understanding, I didn't build an hospital for elite. Of course, we call it a 5-star hospital, not for elite. It was meant to be managed by a state health management board. They have been managing the hospital before we rebuild it. Today, Obaseki brings a consultant who is paying every month for a business in which he has no investment. How will you defraud your people like that? And today,
comrade, let me quickly, if I may quickly ask you this question, because I asked you earlier about the issue of violence, which perhaps I'm not sure if you got the question right. The allegations that your party is planning violence, but this question I'd like to ask is there any fear in the minds of your party, the APC, about a possibility of the popularity of Governor Obaseki? Is he a threat to your party and your candidate?
How can he be a threat? A man who is not even eligible to contest the election, how can he be a threat? How can a snail be a threat in a race where guys are involved? So that is not the issue. But let me speak to the question of violence. And here, you just need to play back even the statement he made this evening. He was threatening that he and the deputy are above the law, because according to him, they have immunity. And he will deal with anybody. When you say anybody, he means members of the opposition. I was the governor of that state. I did the election in 2012, my second term election, in which I won all the 18 local governments, and I scored 74.6% of the total vote cast. Not one life was lost. In his own election, which was conducted while I was governor, not one life was lost. So the only thing that has changed is who is now the governor. If suddenly people are talking of violence, I mean, Obaseki went to pay a courtesy call along with other governors to the Oba of Benin. Rather than go there with cola nut and hot drink, which is the tradition of the rich culture of the Benin Kingdom. He didn't go with that. He went with thugs who were armed with firearms.
Comrade, please, apologies because of the issues of network. I also need...